So basically, this is such a simple thing that I feel like I don't know why I didn't know this. So I thought I'd share because maybe other people don't know it. So um, a lot of by default, when you set up a rich text editor, so the TinyMCE and 2SXC, it's just using a default editor, which is pretty good. It covers a lot of things. So there's actually different modes. So if you can go back, Jeremy, just go back to the thing. Oh, you already have it set up, actually.
Yeah,
Okay,
you and I
so
did this a week
you
ago,
and I did
right?
this.
All
Okay,
right.
so let's go back to the yeah, let's go back to the field setting
Okay.
that I think you were going to.
Yep.
So yeah, if you go to, I guess, basic content and then your text field. So by default, it's this WYSIWYG editor. But there's actually another input type, which if you go down, yeah, and you go to the WYSIWYG settings here, there's actually one called rich media, which is really useful
This is the
because it gives you,
default. And this was the big
uh,
surprise to me when Aaron showed me was this rich media turns on all the settings.
does it actually turn on those settings? I don't
No,
think it
but
does.
it
I think
just
it's,
they're related.
oh, okay. So
Should I
yeah,
show them what the default looks like? Everyone knows what the default looks
sure,
like.
yeah.
And from my
Up to
point
you.
of view, I just wanted to say that the thing that surprised me is I thought there used to be different custom inputs to choose between these. And for some reason, I thought they got taken away. I had no idea they were down here at the bottom of this screen. So now with rich media on, we come back here and we can now go into basic content item. Well, I'll go back to the one here.
Yeah,
We can
let's
see
do
what
that.
we're working on.
So now
Now
you
we get
get
this.
some different controls. Those four on the end are spacers, I believe. So you can gap things out, which is such a funny thing because for me, most of the time, I don't want my customers to gap things out. And what do they end up doing? Of course, is they end up hitting enter like 10 times for some reason. And I'm always deleting their empty paragraphs. But this is kind of a nice option. So if you want to just hit enter and then drop one of those spacers in. Try that.
And
Um,
just a side note, actually the spacer was added because of the pictures.
Hmm.
okay,
Um,
gotcha.
because if you would add, let's say you had a picture on the left and then text on the right using the rich thing, which you're going to show in just a moment,
Hmm.
then there was a necessity to be able to say, I'm going to have a break now, right? And it
Right,
was really
right.
important to be able to say, here's where this set stops. And then often the text would be stuck to the picture, depending on what kind of a picture you'd have. So it was necessary to add the different spacers.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. So one problem that I used to always have is that I just had a default text editor and then clients would just drop images in here, but they wouldn't really have a lot of control over the layouts. And so this rich media version allows you to, as you can see, Jeremy just dropped in an image. Now you have these image options and you can set it to like, let's say 1/3. So width 1/3. And did you already float that left?
I did
Um,
not. They'll stack left automatically, won't they?
I don't think so, but
It's
you might
just
as
on the
well.
left
So,
side because that's the flow, but it doesn't, it's not, see the cursor at the bottom now. If you click on it and say it's supposed to be aligned left, then the cursor will move up.
Yeah, I'm just going to get two on the page so we know what we're playing with. I don't know what
okay.
just, oof, I don't know what just happened.
Did you actually drop it in the right spot?
Yeah,
Or, okay.
I guess I didn't wait
Looks
long
good.
enough. So again, get
So,
this down
yeah,
to a third. Where did the third go? There we go. Now they're
yeah.
side by side.
I think you still have to hit the left line button, I believe. On like, I
Yes,
think
it'll
on
also
each
add
of
the
them.
spacing.
There we go. So
Right.
like that.
And then you can drop in a third image.
Oops, sorry. So now a third image is here. Let's
By the way, you
do,
don't have to go into that thing. You can just drop it into the WYSIWYG.
oh, really?
You're doing a step
Yep.
too much.
All right. I didn't
Just
know
drop it
Yeah.
that.
right there.
Let's go straight to there.
There you go.
Wow.
And then, yeah, just hit the left align and then 1/3.
Yeah, being able to do this was, to me, seeing this only a week ago, I didn't realize how much of this was here now.
Yeah.
Revolutionary.
So now just go ahead and hit save on that one. So now you have images that are in columns, and it's super easy for content editors to actually manage that. And I believe you get the added benefit of being able to manage does it do the little image toolbar thing? Yeah. So when you go back to the page, when you're outside of the this editor,
Oh yeah, that thing.
and you
How did
hover over the image,
Yeah, you had it
not
there. You just have to give it a few. You
there
have
it
to
is.
give it
yeah,
about a
there you
second
go.
for it to appear.
You can now configure, go ahead and click on that. You can configure, let's turn on the light box. Yeah, or you can configure cropping. You can give it the alt text in the description. Um, and then, yeah, crop focus, all that kind of stuff. And then the very bottom, you can even turn on the light box if you wanted to. So I think because you change it to not crop, it's using different resizes. Obviously, that's why it took a long time to load.
Yeah. Uh,
So you should be able to click on that. There you go. Cool.
And there's a
Such
zoom.
a simple concept and yet so very important
Yeah, and
for content
you and I
editors.
did one more thing. We did something so that we got the heights of them the same. What was that trick? I feel like you and I discovered it together. What was that? Do you remember we did that the
Uh,
other day?
did we? I mean, like the cropping might have to do with it. Well, I mean, you can do square sizing, I believe, right?
You
Maybe
could
that
do
was it.
these
There's
resize settings,
square, yeah.
and there's another way to do it, but I'll let you just show this
There we
first. Yeah.
go. This is really nice because there's a lot of situations where you want your images to line up. This is one way, but I really like that. Anyhow, there's a ton of features here that need to be played with. And honestly, and I apologize since Daniel Medler's here, but I knew this stuff existed at one point, maybe over a year ago, and somehow they vanished from my awareness. And I thought they weren't there anymore. And I wish I had explored it better back then so I knew where to go.
Yeah. Just one more thing, because you
Sure.
guys might not be aware of it. You can also configure presets. You could, again, we made this, I believe it's almost 2 years ago already. And I'm sorry for not surfacing it more, obviously. But for example, if you wanted all the pictures in blog posts to always have certain proportions, you should be able to do that without having to do it on each picture. And
Oh, I see.
so that means you could do that too. You want to know how?
Sure.
Okay. So if you go to the content type,
All right.
Oh, I think I actually have seen this. I
Oh,
think I was playing
I shouldn't have
around.
gone there. Sorry. Let's go to the right place. All right.
and let's say
Fields
we go to
or
the, are we on a basic content here?
yes.
Okay, yeah, go to the fields. And now it's been a while, but if you go to the metadata, what's the next one? Maybe the next one does it. Let me just check. It's been a while. What
Yeah,
does
it's
the one
beside the
right
metadata,
beside
isn't
it?
it?
The
The
one
little
beside the
square with the
metadata.
dot.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one there.
Image config.
Image. Yeah. So
Yeah,
click
you need to
that.
be on the image field though. You're on the text field.
No, it's
But
like you can
that's
do it for
not,
both.
yeah, because it's images inside the text field, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So just go back to where you were before.
Okay. So it's in here?
So here, yep. Right. And so, for example, here you could specify things. So click on that and use like a different crop. And now here you could say they're always square, for example. Of course, if you
Now I
set it
get
on
it.
the image itself, it's going to override it. But let's say, I mean, very typical, you might always say, I'm going to have a 16:9 ratio, right? That's like a common setup or something. And then if you set it here, then the moment you drop it on the WYSIWYG, it's going to respect that.
Okay, so right now, if I've done person, you're saying if I come back here,
You'd kind of have to remove it from these people.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
need
you
to
know
go
the
into each
rule.
one and remove it.
Yeah, and you could also say that the gallery is always automatically there, for example.
All right,
Right
so
now you had to set it on each picture, but if you did it by default on the field, then it would apply to everything.
all right, so now it has no resize settings and it's going to come back.
So you took the person configuration in the default. And that is, I'd have to check again, or I think you took the person.
I did do person, yeah.
Yeah. So you can do a preset and say all the pictures in the blog, for example, will always have a light box and they will be in a gallery, right? Because very often you'd like it when you open one of them to keep on swiping.
Yeah. All around though, this is really nice to rediscover. I need to play with it so I get my head around all the features. But yeah, thanks Aaron for bringing this back in my life again.
With
I was
with
excited
the
when it was being added and then I just lost track of it.
with the three photos like that, how is it responsive at all, or what happens when you go to a smaller window?
It's totally responsive. In this
Wow.
mode, it's actually going to it's going to remember. In the WYSIWYG, it actually has a little bit more HTML that it puts there, which is not relevant for the output, but which is necessary to pick up the picture. And it'll actually get all the resize parameters and everything in there. And depending on which features you have activated, it's even going to create a picture tag instead of an image tag with like 8 different sizes. And the browser's just going to pick the right one.
I should also reveal that we're accidentally demoing. You'll see this if you look over here. We are in the Tailwind version of the content app, which not even Daniel Metler has ever seen before. So all of this stuff is completely converted to Tailwind and rewritten so that we
All
can do
right.
things that way. However, we're only at like 90%. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because I think some things are not working quite right to Daniel's expectations because he's used to his Bootstrap 5 version being very specific. We're probably missing a few things that we didn't know what they were there for. So we set them aside. So anyhow, just confessing, this is not a completely finished Tailwind version of the content app, but it's pretty far along. And now that I know this is here, we'll be able to work out those additional features because when we work on this, we compare it side by side with Bootstrap 5 and try and make it exactly the same. It's pretty far
Cool.
along.
I'd like to point out 2 more details just so you're
Sure.
kind of aware of it. So the first thing, maybe you could show the source code again that you were showing there.
Sure.
So one thing to note is that all of this only works if, like on line 33, you use the item.html, right? That's going to do all the processing inside it. It's going to check out all the metadata, extract the pictures, create the toolbars, all that stuff is going to happen in there. If you just did an html.raw, this would not happen. The second thing to note is this is going to realize that we're in very rich mode, and it's going to load another CSS along with, it's going to, activate the CSS, that feature, because it needs that to get all the image alignments and everything to work as they should. And you don't notice that, but line 33 does all of that.
Cool.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, yeah, if you're looking for, I think it's called WYSIWYG-container.css. So if you're looking for the CSS for that, that's where you can find it. So there's no CSS that you have to write to get that going. It's just out of the box.
Yeah. And the reason why that, let's say, premium experience is not the default And here you can see, by the way, it also creates picture tags instead of image tags, right? This is quite neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason again why we didn't make this the default WYSIWYG is because you need to have the HTML output using that image, that data.html. Without that change in the output in the Razor template, it wouldn't work. And so we would have a very weird experience where the WYSIWYG would look nice, but then the output would fall apart.
Gotcha.
All right. I think we're good. All right. I don't really have a script or anything to say as far as a wrap up. Any last questions for anyone? If not, I would like to go ahead and stop the recording. And if you guys want to hang out, I think some of us might chat for a little bit. So thanks very much for the people who showed up. And for anyone watching online, we're hoping to get the entire video posted. We're expecting to split it up into pieces. So we have smaller 5, 8, and 10-minute videos to show off in the future. And we'll get a lot of modern DNN content out there. So anyhow, you guys know where to find us, hopefully on Discord. And we'll talk to you next time. Thank you.